and gentlemen, the coverage continues here on Sportswire Radio, and there is definitely no sleep until the Red Rose Rodeo. We are less than 24 hours away, and our guest, he's almost like the third wheel of our LWF coverage on Fridays on Sportswire Radio because he's been on so many times that we've lost count, and we get to hear him first before we hear from Wildfire Nate Reese and the asset Stephen Cross, and he's going to be across the apron from the asset Stephen Cross, so you know we're going to be speaking a lot about him and much, much more. So without further ado here on the Sports Report, the number one global sports show, pro wrestling star here from the LWF, that's the Scenario, Nathan Gunn. Long time no speak.
I've missed it. I've missed that intro.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while. I have to say, you've been on a lot, but it hasn't been a while, or it's been recent since we haven't heard it. So it's been a bit. A little break. But obviously, a great time to resume some LWF coverage here on Sportswire Radio, and obviously with yourself. And you're going to be a part of a match that we've been hyping up here quite a bit, as you know, over the past several weeks. And you're going to be a part of a 6-man tag coming up here, and it's going to see our own, the asset Stephen Cross, teaming up with, for the first time, Gorgon of the Worst, and also Axel Strife, who we'll see for the first time here also in the LWF. And you'll be wrestling alongside the mysterious Mr. B. And I'm very much curious to see what happens here. Somebody we know very well here. And, of course, your tag team partner, Conrad Blaze. So, I mean, my friend, it's good to be with you. So set the tables for us, what we can expect tomorrow night in Shirley at the Buckshore Village Community Center for the Red Rose Rodeo.
Well, I tell you, you can expect what you can always expect when the Blazing Guns come in. The party's there, isn't it? The party's there. And this time we've brought, let me tell you, a very handsome man. Now, you might not have seen Mr. B without a mask, but let me tell you.
I have not.
Let me tell you, he's an handsome man. I don't know why he hides it. But, you know, we've gone out and we've found ourselves one handsome individual to tag with, and he's pretty darn good in the ring as well. So yeah, it's gonna be a great tag match. I mean, I don't want to say, you know, Gorgon's part of the worst. He's traded up a little bit, isn't it? It's you know, Stephen Cross. I mean, he's never skipped a gym day, has he?
No, you know what? I mean, the shape he's in, I mean, seriously, he might be at the gym right now, literally, even after we got off the air with him. He's probably
diet worst, isn't it? They're better now. I don't understand it.
He's got literally, like, it's him and Rick Marcus that if I put them together, I don't think they still have any body fat. I mean, I put...
No, or hair. I'll be fighting Rick Marcus soon, won't I? Anyway... No, yeah, you know, bringing the pie back to Charlie. It's going to be good to be back. Me and Conrad Blaze obviously missed the last show. We regrouped and we've come back stronger. And like I said, we've brought a handsome man with us, so it's going to be one great show, mate.
I got to ask you, obviously, for those that are watching and listening to this, I also want to give a shout out to Uncle Ralph from CCW. They have their own event also tomorrow night over at Cole, not Dole, their 9th consecutive sellout over at Collery Championship Wrestling. But I want to ask you, I mean, what did you think of those videos that Mr. B put out there? Because I lost count on how many of them. I was trying to keep up with them. We were supposed to have him here this week, but unfortunately, we had some scheduling conflicts, so we hope to get him back here next week. But what did you make of all those videos that mysterious Mr. B shot?
Well, I mean, the man makes a lot of videos. You're quite right. It's difficult. It's difficult, isn't it, to keep track of them? But you know, he makes me smile. I don't know about Stephen Cross, but he makes me smile. Yeah, I mean, the man's got energy. He's got energy and ability. So I'm looking forward to working with him. I've spoke to Conrad Blaze. We've both said bring him out to the party afterwards. You know.
Oh, no question about that. And of course, if you like what you hear from this Scenario, Nathan Gunn, do give him a follow on Instagram at Pro Nathan Gunn, and the LWF also at the LWF Wrestling on Instagram, also Twitter, LWF, Facebook, like the LWF page, over 1,700 likes, and LWF Television, where you can see great content like Monday Night Mutiny, and also Powered 4 TV, where for just $7.99 a month, you can watch great events like the Red Rose Rodeo upcoming tomorrow night at the Buckshore Village Community Center, where the Scenario Nathan Gunn will be a huge part of him. I got to ask you this question here, and I kind of thought about this because obviously we've seen the asset Stephen Cross. We'll get to him. We'll get to your history again, but I feel like in a lot of ways this is a big match for you and Conrad Blaze, your tag team partner, because obviously the success here has obviously been it's mixed. Obviously, it's been a mixed bag. You guys have had some moments, but in terms of a championship or that serious, consistent success, like other teams, like the Wrecking Crew or Shining Wizard, and certainly the Wrecking Crew has been spoken about here quite a bit with you, obviously. Sometimes you've won up them, other times not so much. But I feel like in a lot of ways, this is a big match for you guys here tomorrow night. I mean, do you feel like in a lot of ways you guys are at a crossroads in terms of maybe having success in the LWF?
I think it's, we spoke about this quite a lot after our last tag match. And it's a total matter of redemption. It's about getting all the chips in a row, so to speak, and finding exactly what you just said, consistency. That's the key here, because we've had great moments and we've had close near falls, but that's not close enough, is it?
No,
and we know that. But I think tomorrow is the start of blazing ascendancy, if you like. I think we've got it. We've got it down now. I think there's not going to be much miscommunication. Obviously, we spoke about when we last fought the Wrecking Crew for the titles. That there was a little bit of miscommunication. I didn't quite get to him in time. That kind of thing we've spoke in depth about. So I think it won't be a problem. So I'm hoping that it all clicks tomorrow. You never know, do you? But I certainly feel confident. We've been putting the work in together.
How important is that to the fact that going into tomorrow night that you have confidence going in? Because sometimes you need that in sports or even in wrestling. I always feel like that you're almost a product of your environment. So whatever you're going through, and if the fact that you have confidence, how important is that going into tomorrow night?
Well, it's hugely important, but I think look, we've got confidence in ourselves. We know as soon as we come out, Blazing Guns music hits, people at Charlie are going to be giving us their confidence.
Oh, the fans are definitely into you, and obviously the mysterious Mr. B. They're definitely.
Everyone loves the mysterious Mr. B. Takes that mask off and whoa, but
well, we haven't seen him take off.
No, he only shows me.
Okay. Okay. And what did you think? I mean, what was your impressions?
Oh, my instant reaction was that's one handsome man.
Okay.
I thought, keep it under the mask. I don't need the competition, So,
well, don't spoil anything for us. Don't spoil anything.
But no, I think, confidence is key, obviously. And we're feeling it. We're feeling it. And especially because, you'll have seen Powered 4 TV as well. Last time I had a match, it was against David Getske, and who picked up the win. So I'm feeling very confident about that.
Speaking of Davey Getske, I got to ask you because I'm watching Monday Night Mutiny, which again you can see on the YouTube page of the LWF, and he did some refereeing, and it almost seemed like he was trying to call it down the middle. I mean, I don't know. I'm still kind of skeptical, but I mean, what is the badness out of Davey Getske's referee skills?
I think I've literally broke the badness out of him. I think it's the shock to the system that losing to me is.
Well, we had him here a couple weeks ago, and it was almost like he was happy about Bob Costin in terms of his new image. He was favoring Bob Costin over Wildfire Nate Reese. I watched him in Monday Night Mutiny, and he legitimately was like being down the middle. Like, it really is a new Davey Getske, or is there something underneath this?
Well, you never trust a Getske. That's
anyone but Getske.
Code I live by. Yeah, but I, for his recent antics, I guess I don't know. Maybe I did beat the badness out of him. It shocked the system. I mean, you probably saw his posts about it at the time. He was pretty shocked.
Yeah, I was shocked. I mean, I was watching Monday Night Mutiny, and I'm like, wow, Davey Getske is like. I don't know. I'm so curious about that. That's why I was like, of all people, I have to ask this scenario, Nathan Gunn, because you and him have been attached at the hip as long as I'm doing this here on Sportzwire Radio.
Yeah. He won't leave me alone, will he? But he kind of, who got the last laugh? It was me. Slide that in there.
We'll find out. I'll tell you that much here. We will definitely find out here. And I also want to give a shout out to somebody who was watching this, and that was somebody that might be related to somebody named Disciple. So I want to make sure that we shout out Disciple. Of course, Disciple, well-traveled wrestler throughout here, main evented a number of different companies. So certainly want to give that individual a shout out. Who knows? Maybe we'll see him pop up somewhere. But I want to ask you, obviously, going over to the Asset Stephen Cross, and he was very impressive against Jack Barron here earlier this week on the LWF YouTube page, and certainly we spoke about his shape. You and him have a little bit of history, and you've heard some of the comments. Now I'm going to give you the floor now, the scenario Nathan Gunn. And what was your impressions of what the Asset Stephen Cross had to say about you in the past week or so?
Well, he says the same things over and over again, the Asset Stephen Cross. I'm not a fan of his. We know this. History tells this. But I don't deny his ability. I don't deny his work ethic.
Oh, his ring skills. I mean, some of the moves he pulled off, and I mean, it was phenomenal. I mean, he really is, in addition to being in the shape that he's in, he is one of the more superior technical wrestlers. He's a great wrestler.
But no, yeah, he's in great shape. He throws great moves. He knows what he's doing. But I beat him before. I can beat him again. I mean, I gave him a nice holiday beating, as you've seen before on my Instagram. Yeah, showed him some holiday joy. So I've beaten him before.
I have seen it.
I'll do it again.
I have seen it.
I'm coming with two very talented lads. I know Mysterious Mr. B. He's looking to make him smile. That's not my major concern, to be honest. I'm looking for a win.
What did you think about that? Because obviously, interesting you bring that up, because I had spoke with the Asset Stephen Cross about the fact that the Mysterious Mr. B, is it mind games? Is he trying to do something? Because if you think about it, right, for you guys, in order to win this match, I think, now don't tell me the strategy, but I think it's a fair way to look at it, that if you guys can kind of distract the Asset Stephen Cross or kind of keep him at bay, I think it's advantage you guys, because if I take you guys and the Mysterious Mr. B against Axel Strife and also Gorgon, to me, I think you guys have the upper hand, possibly.
Well, maybe. I mean, I'm feeling confident. I mean, I beat Gorgon before at the LWF, so I am feeling confident. This is fair, but I'm not taking them lightly. As for the Mr. B kind of mind games, I think he's just a jolly lad. He likes to laugh, and I respect that. I love that. That adds to the pie. I'm all about that.
Well, you are always about the party. No question about that.
In fact, I might get my hat. I can stick it over the mask.
Is it going to be lighting up again tomorrow night at the Buckshot Village Community Center?
Always lights up when it's party day, mate.
It's always a party. Listen, we all can use a party.
Actually, you know what? This is actually the broken one. Gorgon broke it actually.
Oh boy!
So there's extra
incentive of that tomorrow night at the Buckshot Village Community Center, where I think there's just a few more tickets available. So certainly, we want to make sure, if you have a chance, go over to the LWF's page and get more information. Certainly, buy a ticket, where the scenario Nathan Gunn will certainly be in action. Again, of an intriguing match, but also a part of a great card here. Also, Bob Costin and Wildfire Nate Reese in a lumberjack match. I mean, I got to ask you about that. Now, is there a possibility that you'll be a lumberjack? Because the Asset Stephen Cross, we know, is confirmed. I mean, I would think your history with both factions and both sides, I mean, has that come out there yet, or am I maybe missing something?
Well, you know what? I might have to go out there. Now that I've heard that the Asset Stephen Cross is there, I mean...
He's a lumberjack. He confirmed it on Monday Night Mutiny. He actually said, yeah, I'm going to be there. That's exactly what he said.
I don't think I can trust him. I think you know what, I'm gonna have to gather Mr. B.
So you feel like that the Asset Stephen Cross would be Team Wildfire Nate Reese?
Well, they've got to be, haven't they? They've been working together, making plans together.
Yeah, well, obviously we've had him here for the past year on Sportswire Radio. And the Asset Stephen Cross also mentioned with Mikey Fitz, who we had on here Monday previewing your match, that they're a tag team, and he's going to be there. So you can pretty much fill in the blanks, read between the lines there. So there's absolutely
exactly. They're going around shaving heads because Stephen Cross is jealous. So
hey, well, in Wildfire Nate Reese's case, he doesn't have much hair, so what
also
difference does that make?
Tag team based on absolute rage of the the follicles.
So it's not Rage Against the Machine. It's more like Rage Against the hairline or the receding hairline in some cases.
Hey, you said that, not me.
I know. I'm gonna get in trouble for that for sure. I'm definitely gonna get in trouble for that in a little while from Wildfire Nate Reese. He's gonna definitely hear that, but that's certainly here nor there. But so you like Bob Costin over Wildfire Nate Reese? So what's your thoughts on that, man? Because I gotta ask, because we speak about Wildfire Nate Reese and Bob Costin
Do you
so
know
much.
what? The last time we spoke,
Mm-hmm.
I said to you, I saw a Costin win and I saw Nate get shaved. That's what I said to you. And I was wrong. I was dead wrong. So
yeah, you did. But actually, Costin didn't lose. Technically, it was Kelly Van Ness. I mean, Costin did really a huge favor to Kelly Van Ness. I mean, would you have done the same thing? I almost have to ask. Would you have done the same thing? That's a tough one.
I don't know if I would. I mean, these are quite luscious locks, aren't they, really?
Well, I know certainly for me, I don't think I would be in the business of that.
I don't know if I would,
But it's Kelly Van Ness, so you know what? I'd have to think about it. So it is Kelly Van Ness. I mean, with all due respect, I mean, certainly if it's Kelly Van Ness, I would maybe have to consider, at least evaluate my position. But hey,
well, you got to think carefully, haven't you?
yeah, well, obviously, I'm sure I'm getting in big doo-doo just for saying that, but obviously, we'll see what happens when it comes to Costin and Reese. Although I still contend, before we get back to your match, that this is exactly what Wildfire Nate Reese wanted. Wildfire Nate Reese has Bob Costin right where he wants him. That's my opinion.
He could very well could do. I mean, I guess that's kind of why we're going out as well, just to make sure there's no loose bricks.
What do you ask when it comes to your match here, and obviously with Mysterious Mr. B? I know you guys have a lot of similarities, but I mean, do you guys talk before the match? Do you guys go over anything in terms of where we are right now? I mean, don't tell us strategy, but I would have to think, especially with such a interesting match here. I mean, do you guys go over strategy in terms of what we need to focus on, or just you kind of just go it out there and wing it?
No, well, look, I think myself and Conrad Blaze obviously have a strategy. We're in the gym working it together. When it comes to involving the Mysterious Mr. B, maybe we'll just give him a little nudge. Tell him not to go for all the laughs, half of the laughs, and half of the win. So maybe that's what we'll go with. Like I said, that's what we're there for. Myself and Conrad Blaze, we're there for the win and the after party, but mainly the win. So.
Fair enough. Yeah. And I almost think that if you were to make a case for you guys actually having an advantage, if you were to make that case, obviously some people will, some people will not. But I feel like because Gorgon, Axel, and the Acid Stephen Cross, they have no real synergy. They haven't been around each other. I mean, we know Stephen Cross in tag teams in terms of the success hasn't quite been there. Singles-wise, he's been phenomenal. He's on a phenomenal run, but tag teams to be desired. I mean, do you feel like from one strategy to make this case that, you know what, you guys have the upper hand here is the fact that that's a tag team where I really don't know how long those guys get along with each other?
Well, yeah, I think Stephen Cross doesn't play well with others. Other than occasionally Nate Reese, which is quite impressive. I don't know.
Barely. I mean, we watched the last event and it was barely. I mean, barely.
Well, it's quite impressive that there's any sort of synergy, again, if you will, between those two, considering. But no, yeah, I feel like we do have a unity advantage, if you like. Especially because Gorgon, he would ideally like to be partnered with his terrible worst teammate, but yeah, I'd say we have an advantage there. But you can't discount him. Gorgon's a tough guy. Like I said, I've fought him many times before, and I know what he's about.
And one reason, if you were to conversely say for you guys, and I have to ask you the question because it came up with the Asset Stephen Cross a little bit on last week's show, and I don't know if you heard it or not, but I'll bring it up for you, bring you up to speed, is the guiding light Isaiah Quinn, which is always a wild card factor. I mean, if he's there tomorrow night, knowing the guiding light Isaiah Quinn and what he brings to the table, obviously for that outside, I don't know if about interference at this point in his career, but certainly maybe that pointers or managerial skills. And I mean, is that something you guys concern yourself about in terms of maybe the guiding light Isaiah Quinn, his presence tomorrow night in the match?
Well, look, he's a chess master, isn't he? He's a
Absolutely.
strategist. Look, he knows what he's doing. So, yeah, he concerns us, but he can't get in the ring and do it for them. Well, he'll try, but he can't get in the ring and do it for them. So, I think a little bit, but it's not the main concern, is it? The main concern is the man who doesn't stop going to the gym. I think that's the main concern.
Well, we'll certainly find out here, and I almost have to ask conversely for you guys. I mean, I'm expecting Disfrasada and the Masked Marauder to say hello here at some point. I mean, that's something that you expect. I mean, don't tell us though. I mean, if there's something you
we haven't spoken to him. We had myself and Conrad Blaze had a brief chat with Mysterious Mr. B. I don't know if he spoke to him.
I don't know. Like, do you have a normal? Like, how do you have a normal conversation with the Los Lancadores? We had him here, I'm sure, not that long ago, and it was definitely an interesting conversation. Let me just.
I never said it was normal.
Okay, fair enough.
So it was brief. It was definitely wasn't normal. Right, well, definitely wasn't normal. Lots of ways. Lots of ways.
Brief and normal are definitely two different things here. So I mean, obviously, I can certainly see.
Me and Blaze dig it. We dig it. We're all about that high energy. I'm all about that.
You guys definitely listen. Energy has never been. Listen, when it comes to you being in the LWF and knowing you now for about a year, it's never been a problem with energy. It's just, I think the whole thing, in terms of why I go back to the original point about, in terms of like this not quite being a make or break match for you and certainly Conrad Blaze, but also in a sense like I kind of feel like that energy that you bring to the table, it hasn't always been where it's been channeled into wins and losses. Where, I mean, you look at your record. Yes, there are some good moments. There's definitely some wins. There's some things you guys have done with the Wrecking Crew. Obviously, the win against Getsky is a big deal, finally, after all that we spoke about here. But I feel like it hasn't been consistent. So, like, to me, the whole thing here, especially for tomorrow night, I feel like that consistency has to be channeled through that energy. That was kind of my whole point here in terms of asking you that original question at the top of the show here.
Well, yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. It's consistency. It's not there. It's not been there. It's not been there for me and Blaze. It hasn't even been there for me, really, in a singles capacity. So that's what we're trying to address, and that's why, when we weren't at the last show, we're just working hard, working away, to come back, to make the big blazing return. So being back gives us the opportunity to find that consistency, and this is the day one, So we've got to put it in tomorrow. We've got to put in the work.
I feel like longer than this match goes, it favors you guys because I still am skeptical in terms of maybe how well Gorgon, Axel Strife, and the asset Stephen Cross get along at the Buckshore Village Community Center in your match. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Like I said, he doesn't play well with others, Stephen Cross, generally, at all. I think he thinks they're all Muppets, to be honest.
Well, I mean, to be fair, now I'm going to defend the asset Stephen Cross here for a second.
Oh, you really? I don't believe you.
Yeah, really. Right? I'm going to defend him. Well, first of all, look at the shape he's in, right? So automatically look at the shape, the condition that he's in. Nobody on the roster right now really comes close to the asset Stephen Cross initiative. I know Getsky's improved, but Getsky still looks like he might need to eat a steak or two. But nobody right now
those abs
on the roster is in the shape he's in. Nobody I see on a consistent basis is able to go in the ring with the variety of opponents he's been in. Think about it. He's been in the ring with Lachlan Sharp, Jack Roberts of Synergy, obviously Eitan Steen. Certainly the mysterious Mr. B has found out about him as a singles wrestler. I mean, obviously Jack Barron is a very good wrestler in his own right. We got to see him a little bit. I mean, so when I think about the different people that the asset Stephen Cross is in, I can't blame him if maybe he doesn't play well with others, because on his own, he's shown that, you know what, he can be a title contender. He can be a guy that can be in that discussion. I mean, look at everything we saw when it came to the whole Castle Cup situation. We spoke about it here, and Mikey Fitzgerald, we asked him about it. So, I mean, I can't blame Stephen Cross if he's not playing well with others, because he's shown that he can have the success, and he needs to get more shots, I think, in terms of having that success.
Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, I wouldn't throw in the discussions about having shots. That's not for me to say. That's for management.
That's management, Mr. Bibby and Mr. Fitzgerald,
Yeah.
certainly.
But he's definitely shown what he can do. Like, top of the program, I said I don't underestimate him. I'm not taking him lightly. So yeah, we know what he can do. He's a dangerous opponent. He certainly is. But we're feeling good about it. We're feeling good about it, honestly. And
well, you better be. You told us you were confident 10 minutes ago,
yeah.
so I would have to think that you would feel confident and you feel good.
Very true, I do.
Well, I would hope so. That's why, again, everybody needs to follow the Scenario Nathan Gunn at Pro Nathan Gunn and find out why he is definitely the party and brings the party. And certainly nobody brings that party like the Scenario Nathan Gunn. And I am the host of the Sports Report, the station manager here of Sportzwire Radio, the Reverend Tom Bryce. And if you like what you hear from us, you can definitely give us a like on Facebook at Sportzwire Radio. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You can listen to all of our great content on sportnarium.com/player. And of course, all of the LWF content and also the LWF fans group you can also follow on Facebook. Although I'm a little upset right now because I used to share our videos on our clips onto the LWF fans page. But apparently, I don't know if it's Steve Bibby or not. This is kind of a half shoot, half kind of work shoot. But I don't know why my posts aren't being able to share on the LWF page. So, Mr. Bibby, you might want to allow me again to reshare posts of promoting your company. That's just my thoughts on that. But obviously, I'm sure he's not listening to this because he's a busy man right now. But that's here nor there. Certainly,
working yourself into a shoot. I love it.
Yeah, you got a lot on this plate. Certainly, I can appreciate that. That's certainly fine. But we are definitely speaking with pro wrestling star here, the Scenario Nathan Gunn here. So, the Scenario Nathan Gunn, I also want to ask you in terms of, what's your thoughts on some of the other matches here, real quick? Davey Getzky, Eitan Steen, Reynaldo, the referee. This is just I don't know where to go here with this. You have a quick thought on who do you think maybe comes away with this and then challenges Reynaldo? I guess we can see, the first time, two-time number one contender here, technically, regardless of whoever comes away with the victory, technically, because Eitan Steen wins the Castle Cup, which you think would have made you the automatic number one contender. And Davey Getzky was at one time a Castle Cup winner and a former number one contender. So that makes him a two-time number one contender, should he win. So, thoughts on that?
That's a tough one to predict. Even if Getzky might not be on his best run, but he's picked it back up. Back up. And that's what he does. He puts in that work. That's why he's got I don't know. I've lost count. I tried. I couldn't count how many there were there, but there's a lot of abs. But Steen is. He's something else sometimes.
Yeah, I tell you what, Eitan Steen, I brought him up last night with another wrestler, an up-and-coming wrestler over in UKW, also does some work at GT Ministries, which has obviously done some stuff with the LWF in the past, a guy, Young Horace. And I actually brought up because a question was given to him in our chat about, well, who would you want to face outside of the companies you work for? And I actually said Eitan Steen right now, and we've had him on in the past, might be right now the hottest wrestler in terms of what he does, in terms of ring ability, the run he's on. We see him in Bolton Town, all over the place. And I don't know, and I'm not just being biased, but I kind of think right now it's hard to go against Eitan Steen. Just what he can do outside the ring. And I think Shining Wizard will be there to kind of even the numbers game with the Wrecking Crew.
Yeah. Shining Wizard will definitely be there. They back him up.
Absolutely. And they're going to be facing off with the Wrecking Crew also. So that they're going to be intertwined with each other all throughout the night tomorrow night.
Absolutely. But, you make a compelling point, but I don't think you can ever discount Davey Getzky. So it's a really tough one. We know Ray will call it down the middle.
Do you think Reynaldo favors one person over the other? Because I made the point with the Acid Stephen Cross on this, and I also made the point with Wildfire Nate Reese even. What do you do if you're Reynaldo? Do you want Getzky? Do you want Steen? It's almost like pick your poison.
I don't think he'll think about it like that. That's not how I see Reynaldo operating. He might think about it exactly like that, but that's not how I see it. So I think he'll call it straight down the middle. May the best man win. I'm not saying he'll want to fight Getzky. because it's anyone but Getski, isn't it? But I think he calls it down the middle, and and the best man wins, and it's hard to pick who that is. Even if yourself is going for Steen, it's difficult to go against Getski. But
yeah, it's tough. Listen, I mean, certainly Getski I've spoke about in a number of different companies. He's all over the place, but I don't know Steen. The run he's on, I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, but if I'm Reynaldo, I'm so curious. What do you want one over the other? I mean, part of me says maybe you want Getski because of the Wrecking Crew angle, but part of me says you want Steen because Steen's the high flyer, and maybe as a high flyer, you make that mistake. And for a veteran like Reynaldo, you can kind of capitalize off that mistake. So it's kind of almost in a sense, where do you go from here in that standpoint? I mean, and I'm not going to ask you Shining Wizard Wrecking Crew because I know who you'll favor in that match there. So, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to do that. But any other matches that you think are important? I mean, I think Tonga, I mean, that's a match I'm very, very curious to see what happens when it comes to Tonga and her upcoming match, because I just saw Tonga actually in Odyssey Pro Wrestling. And anytime I see Kelly Van Ness and Tonga, I mean, so kind of polar opposites in terms of the fans. I mean, what do you think happens there in that match very quickly?
That's another tough one to call for me.
Yeah. Wildfire Nate Reese claims to be a big bestie with Tonga, but I haven't seen any proof of it. Have you?
He claims a lot of things.
Well, maybe
he claims he still has hair. So
even I piled on him on that. So yeah.
But Kelly Van Ness, she's out for that retribution. That can be a powerful motivator. I don't know. She's season pro. It's a difficult one. It's a really difficult one. You really hard questions, but these are hard matches to call. So
I know.
This is what makes
Listen, Lachlan Sharp and Rob Drake's another one. I mean, and that's been boiling for a while now. I mean,
absolutely. Do you know what? As well, is Lachlan Sharp is just an incredible athlete, isn't he?
Lachlan Sharp. I mean, I see him everywhere. Future Shock, KOW. I do work with. I mean, Lachlan Sharp is. I mean, really is a worldwide pro. I mean, there's really no way around it. He's a worldwide pro, and he shows that. Rob Drake, obviously, the Drake family name certainly carries a lot of weight. So, I mean, I guess I'm pulling for Lachlan Sharp, but I really don't know. That's another one too close to call. I mean, all these matches are too close to call, and certainly that's why you need to again go to the LWF page, the LWF Wrestling. On Instagram, LWF on Twitter, Facebook, the LWF group, also LWF fans, also on Facebook, LWF television on YouTube. And of course, the Scenario Nathan Gunn will be a huge part of those things. Also, Powered 4 TV is where you can see also matches from the Scenario Nathan Gunn. And I want to bring you here to this point, and I want to give you the floor now, the Scenario Nathan Gunn. And what do you want to say to your opponents tomorrow night at the Buckshaw Village Community Center? Gorgon, Axel Strife, and of course, my friend, the Acid Stephen Cross. What would you like to say to them before the match tomorrow night?
Well, first of all, I'd advise you to get some better friends. And
I hear that a lot. Yeah, I need a lot of friends, new friends, and a lot of friends, obviously. Yeah.
I would say
I need a better job right now. I need probably a better living situation. I mean, there's probably a lot of things I need better with.
I wouldn't say all those other things. That's not the kind of man I am.
Okay, fair enough. I respect that. I respect that. I appreciate you definitely didn't shake my confidence to begin with outside of this. So I appreciate the kind words, though.
Well, no, I would say, prepare yourself, guys. Like, you're coming against me and Blazing. We're focused. We're ready. We've brought Mysterious Mr. B with us. You know what he brings, that high energy. Don't underestimate us, because we'll be bringing a fight, and we expect you to as well. I think they will. I think they will. I mean, like I said, Gorgon's traded up, hasn't he? He's gone and got himself a partner. 100 times the size of his other one. So
that's true. That's Vidic, and certainly we've seen other people in there that he's been with. So yeah, I mean, in a sense, I guess you could make that case that certainly Gorgon is punching above his weight class.
Slightly less worse, yeah. It's a diet worse, I hear you.
Yeah, certainly he's punching above his weight class. So, I mean, those are certainly, some things there to keep an eye on. So, I mean, obviously, we hope you do well, but I'm a fan of the Acid Stephen Cross. I mean, Would you like to be in the ring with the Acid Stephen Cross again one-on-one? I almost should ask you this question. I feel like, you know what? Should I go work shoot on here? I mean, I don't know. I mean,
you ask whatever you want, mate. You know what? I would like to be in the ring with the Asset Stephen Cross again. Maybe in a one-on-one scenario.
You know, I mean, you beat Davey Getsky, right? And certainly we saw Getsky and Cross, that kind of weird reaction. I mean, if you could beat Getsky, right? I mean, I guess maybe you think you could beat Cross one-on-one again, right?
Well, like I said, I've beat Cross. I've done that before. I reckon I can do it again.
I'm aware. Listen, I know. Listen, trust me. I'm aware of it. I'm well aware. I've been covering the LWF a while now.
Do you know what? I have a little question for you. Let's
anything you want.
Let's figure this out. If there was a Nathan Gunn versus Stephen Cross match one-on-one, who would you be rooting for?
Who's the referee in this match?
It's Nate Reese.
Oh God! Well, I mean, if it's Nate Reese, I don't. I mean, you really put me on the gun here. No pun intended. Well, how about this? I'll tell you what. I'll make a decision after this. Here's what I would like to see. If you're gonna want a match with the Acid Stephen Cross, depending on how things go tomorrow night at the Buckshot Village Community Center, I would love to hear you and the Acid Stephen Cross together, same time on Sportzwire Radio.
We can make that happen, my friend.
I would love to. I would love to see that happen. I mean, listen, we saw the Los Lankadors come here together. We saw Sisson, Stone, and Getsky were here together.
Yeah. Would you invite them on for?
They were actually invited themselves, actually.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the Wrecking Crew's case, I actually didn't send them an invite. That was one case, even I knew to kind of as Johnny Cash would famously say, walk the line a little bit. So yeah, I didn't even invite them, more or less. They kind of just invited themselves. I mean, certainly
I understand. The Sledgehammer's an intimidating man.
Yeah, no, Stone. Listen, Stone is certainly carrying stones, and he's definitely put himself into shape where he's literally all stones, let alone losing stones. He's like all stones right now. So that's
man's putting in the work.
Every time I see Chris Stone at like 4:00 in the morning, he's at a gym somewhere. It's like 11:00 my time, and this dude's like at the gym, and I'm like feeling whatever I'm feeling at 11:00 at night, and I'm like trying to keep myself awake, and I'm like feeling whatever I'm feeling. This guy is like going out and going to the gym right before work. I'm like, I'm an idiot.
Don't feel bad. He's just taking pictures. He didn't do anything.
Okay, but the work shows from his physique.
No, yeah, the guy's looking good. Good.
Listen, you can deny him a little bit in the ring, maybe in terms of how he does things, but in terms of he's going to the gym. No, he's going to the gym. There's certainly and he's going to try to see if he can become eventually a 2-time LWF Tag Team Champion with his certainly other partner, I guess now Nick Cutter. We'll certainly see about that and more. But I want to ask you before I get to closing thoughts here, and obviously we'll hear from in a little while the Acid Stephen Cross, the aforementioned Acid Stephen Cross, and Wildfire Nate Reese.
Be happy about this.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be an interesting conversation because we have actually heard from both of them. Because last week I guested on a show, and then we had scheduling conflicts with Nate Reese. So certainly I haven't heard from both of them in a little while. But is there anything you want to say to anybody that's bought a ticket to tomorrow night to the Red Rose Rodeo, or to anybody that after hearing this or a clip on Instagram over the past week might be thinking about going or following you with the LWF? And what would you want to say to those two groups?
Well, I mean, simply you should follow me and the LWF. Great wrestlers, not just myself. There's obviously Conrad Blaze. Gonna plug that one out. But you get yourself down there. I mean, there's not a few tickets left, so you don't have to act quick if you do want to come.
Literally, it's a handful of tickets. Literally.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. Yeah, and that speaks to the quality of the show.
Absolutely.
We touch on them. You got Lachlan Sharp, Rob Drake. You got Davey Getsky 8 on scene. You've got the Blazing Guns return. And what more do you want? Get a ticket. What are you doing?
Yeah, right now though, as a referee, I mean, you've got Tonga and Kelly Van Ness. I mean, Bob Costin and Nate Reese in a lumberjack match. I always personally leave aside who I'm rooting for. I always loved lumberjack matches. You just never know what can happen. You just never know who can mix it up with each other. And certainly I'm going to love the 6-man tag match coming up here tomorrow night between Blazing Guns and, of course, Mysterious Mr. B against my friend, the Asset Stephen Cross, Gorgon, who Gorgon's been on here in the past. I have actually had Gorgon on here before. Axel Strife, so very, very, very intriguing match. Do you have cowboy gear? Is it cowboy themed gear tonight, tomorrow night? I mean, are you like going to go in a cowboy hat? Is there
like a light up cowboy hat? Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, look, my style will be described on the day.
Yeah, it doesn't speak to cowboying. It doesn't.
But it doesn't generally lend itself to cowboy. Yeah, you're quite right. But I mean, I'll surprise somebody on the day. Maybe there's some boots. I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Well, I'll tell you what, we will definitely find out here, and certainly looking forward to hearing more from the scenario Nathan Gunn. And hopefully you come back on sooner. Here before the next time.
I'd love to speak to you again. It's always a pleasure, other than when you keep
listen, I always took up for you against Getsky. I mean, so listen, we still love you on Sportzwire Radio. We did. And I definitely
found like hierarchy. It's like it's the Asset Stephen Cross, and it's like everyone else. But it's fine. It's fine.
No. Listen, I always tell people, actually, I'm glad you brought this up because my favorite wrestlers in the LWF generally tend to be the Asset Stephen Cross, Wildfire Nate Reese, the scenario Nathan Gunn, and lately I have to throw out there because I have to break it here, and I'm glad I remembered to break it, is that Balachius is coming back to Sportzwire Radio. He's coming back. And after what?
Mad men.
I like him. I see dollar signs in him. I just see pound signs. I just see that certainly after what he's done to Martin and other people, I mean, poor Mikey Fitzgerald was terrified of him. I mean, I think Balachius.
Scary, man.
I'll tell you what, Balachius to me is I see him as a main eventer soon. I see Balachius is somebody. You want to talk about guys who don't play well with others? Here's the definition of that. But I certainly see Balachius as a guy that, I see him rising to the top. But he's also a favorite. But certainly you, Wildfire Nate Reese, and the Asset Stephen Cross are definitely up there as well. But obviously, I want to now give you the floor. I want to give you some closing thoughts. Anything else you want to plug, share, say? And I can't wait to have you back on, and certainly hope it's a lot shorter time that we can get you back on here. So I turn it over to you. Anything else you want to share, say? And can't thank you enough. And thank you for giving us some time here. Few short hours away before tomorrow night, the Buckshore Village Community Center, my friend.
Well, I mean, there was only one of those answers that were right. Nathan Gunn's your favorite wrestler, but we'll let it go.
Well, you're one of the three in the LWF. I said one of the three in the LWF. You do realize that, like, I speak with so many wrestlers at this point. If I pick a favorite wrestler, I'm gonna be killed. Literally, somebody's gonna come and shoot me. And on top of that, people probably already want to do that. But if I say that you're my favorite wrestler, I'm going to hear from 10 wrestlers. I promise you, in 15 minutes. They're going to say,
everyone. Everyone can come on. You can go. You're my favorite. You can give it that treatment.
Well, you're one of my favorites.
I feel that's special, but that doesn't change anything about the card tomorrow.
Absolutely.
The closing statement would be: come and watch the Blazing Guns return.
That's true. That is definitely
take care of the Asset Stephen Cross and his diet worst flunkies.
Well, they have definitely the worst diet. You want to talk about the worst diet compared to the Asset Stephen Cross? That would definitely be Gorgon and Axel Strife. That I'll definitely agree with you on. They definitely may have the worst diet compared to the.
So many shots from you. You're going to be in trouble. It's going to be Blazing Gun protection when you come to watch us.
I feel like because I know that I'm on the gun, no pun intended, from a number of different wrestlers, including those in the LWF, to show up later this year and kind of watch everybody. I mean, I think I asked last night on one of the shows I did with a different wrestler. I forget which one it was. It might have been Young Horace, actually. And I said, well, how am I going to stay for all this time? Like, is somebody putting me up somewhere? And then there was one individual who said, well, I'm a hotel manager and I can maybe work a deal out with you. So I'm trying to figure out, how am I going to, stay somewhere? Because I'm not Franco Varga, where I'm going to get a paid tour and get a paid visits by the companies. Because I know Steve Bibby ain't paying me. I know other promoters ain't paying me. So, I have to figure out, how is this going to work over a month? So somebody suggested I stay in Leeds, because Leeds is kind of, close to everything. So
yeah. Well, you can get paid at a Blazing Gun experience. You can come to parties with us afterwards. I
obviously, if I'm here, which is the plan, yes, I would come to an LWF after party. But I mean, I have to figure out like how is this going to be coordinated, and because I haven't done one of these before. So I guess we'll have to figure it out. But I am on the gun, no pun intended, that I need to visit all the different companies, and the LWF is at the top of the list because the entire locker room at this point, obviously, I just about have spoken with. I think there's the only people. I think your tag team partner is like the only person I haven't spoken with in the locker room.
You never catch him on the fly.
He's really the only one that has been elusive here. So that's no problem here. But obviously, I thank you for all that you've done for us, and certainly I'm looking forward to all the great things that you're doing. So go get him out there. Good luck, and everybody can follow you at Pro Nathan Gunn on Instagram, and we'll see what Cross and Reese have to say. And good luck, and hopefully speak with you a lot sooner.
Amazing, man. Yeah, take it easy. I mean, if you want to cancel those interviews, feel free to. But yeah,
now Cross. I actually just got a message. That might be actually happening to be a cancellation, but Reese, I owe Nate Reese. I actually
scared him off. Scared him off. He did the interview. Scared him off.
I actually want to hear from Reese because I really want to get. I'm really into the Costin Reese lumberjack match. I actually want to speak to Reese. I actually have to say I'm so. In fact, Bob Costin interfered in one of my streams, so I have to say I will definitely figure that out. But good luck, my friend. I thank you. You are one of my favorites, absolutely, and I look forward to having you back on here, and we'll definitely do more.
Awesome, man. I'll see you soon.
As we're here on the Sports Report, the number one global sports show with pro wrestling star here from the LWF. That's the scenario, Nathan Gunn, who will be in action tomorrow night at the Red Rose Rodeo for the LWF's upcoming event here at the Buckshaw Village Community Center in Charlie. You can follow the scenario Nathan Gunn at Pro Nathan Gunn on Instagram, and you can also follow the LWF Wrestling on Instagram, LWF on Twitter, also Powered 4 TV, LWF Television on YouTube as well. So Facebook, if you're on there, also you can follow the LWF's page over 1,700 likes. LWF fans also, as the scenario Nathan Gunn will be in action alongside his tag team partner Conrad Blaze, along with the mysterious Mr. B against the Acid Stephen Cross Gorgon and Axel Strife. I am the host of the Sports Report, the station manager of Sportzwire Radio, the Reverend Tom Bryce. If you are watching us live on all of our other platforms, we'll be back here later on with the Acid Stephen Cross and Wildfire Nate Reese. Stay tuned for that. I know I will be. And thank you, everyone. And thank you to the scenario Nathan Gunn. And we'll be back here in a little while.